Hello everyone, Thomas Fleming here again. Well, the wind was blowing, so I've got my microphone on just in case. Keep the wind from making too much noise. If I come out here without the microphone, the wind blows harder, so I'll keep it down. It's the reverse psychology with an umbrella, you know. If you carry an umbrella, it'll never rain. If you don't carry one, it'll rain. God doesn't work that way, but the devil does. All right. Well, the United States is finally being forced to use military. They don't want to. They just as soon sit back and do nothing. But they're attacking our bases in Syria. So the United States has to defend its bases. Do they not understand that? If they leave us alone, we'd crawl into a hole and they'd have free run to do whatever they want to do. That's what I'm saying. Satan is stupid. He pushes us to do what he doesn't want us to do. But it keeps stirring the pot. You ever make a big stew? Even, chili. You've got to stir it every so often. Get the flavor up off the bottom. Blend it in. It's getting warm. I'm getting ready to do some cooking. I haven't done a cooking video in a while because it's been so cold I've been having to cook inside my tent. Well, I actually have some wood and some charcoal. So either in the next few days or I might wait till my son gets here, which is only a few days, to do some outdoor cooking. I do have a steak. I have some more hamburgers. I didn't get hot dogs this time. We're doing hamburgers. And I'm going to try to cook them outside on the grill over an open fire. So I've got my scraping brush. I've got to find where I put my metal spatula. It's hard to scrape a hot metal grill with a plastic spatula. I've got it, I got to go through all my stuff and find out which bin I put it in because I tucked it away. I think I know, so we'll find out. If not, I know where I can get one back in my storage unit. That's the only thing that gets me is remembering everything. I carry lists around and then I forget to look at them. I told you I'm absent-minded. God works with it, but it's why I can create a video for him, post it, and then not remember what I talked about, and then I go back and watch it so I can figure out what to title the video. Yeah, that's how I am. And I'm the same thing with plays. Or acting, I'll say my lines, and within an hour I don't remember what I said. And that way it's, when I get to see it for the first time, it's something new for me too. I typically don't watch myself, but because we're never happy. We always critique what we look like and sound like. But that's okay. I was looking through some old video, old TV, and I came to the conclusion that I don't like the modern movies. The old movies, the black and whites. One, because the color wasn't there to enhance it, they had to put the color into their action, into their characters. You didn't see quiet people doing stuff. Sometimes you do, but there has to be things to color up the scene. And the actors were better back then. And it's unfortunate that all the actors of that generation are no longer with us. But we have their work, their body of work. Cary Grant, Clark Gable, Charlton Heston, all these people back then. And they could make movies about God back then. We have the Ten Commandments in a movie. And that's where I think that's where the ready when you are CB line came from. We're not sure how much of that's real and how much of that's fiction. But it's like Cecil B. DeMille is out there and he's got all of his cameras ready. This is film. He's got his 1,000, 10,000, whatever the number of extras running like they're the Egyptians attacking. And he calls action. And everyone's getting this stuff on film. And then finally he calls to each one and say, did you get that? Did you get that? And he calls the one camera guy and he goes, well, I'm ready when you are. Now, we're not sure if that's real or not, or if it's just myth and fiction. But it's funny. We're kind of like that with God sometimes. I'm ready when you are. What do you mean it's already passed? I was waiting, but you weren't paying attention. God understands, and he knows that we all have our individual characteristics, and he'll work with those. Whatever our lacking is actually better for him. If we know how to do something and do it perfectly, which we don't all know how to do, but if we think we know how to do something perfectly, we'll get in and mess it up. If we have no idea what we're doing, then we're going to go through the whole step by step, trusting God. And we'll do a better job, or at least we'll give him what he wants. Sometimes the outcome is not to win or to appear to know what we're doing. Sometimes the outcome is to fail, because that will bring somebody else in to complete it that needs to be involved. We don't know. We don't have a script for this. God does. It's all stored up here. He doesn't tell us because we have to trust him. We have to trust by faith that he's going to give us the right work to do and the right tools to do that work. Now I'm still doing a little bit of acting, but all the work I'm doing now are all independent films, and I get to pick and choose which ones I do. Now I've got 3 different groups that I work with. 2 currently. I haven't worked with one, the third one, for a while, but I might. I've got an old film that we made years ago, and the footage got lost. It's resurfaced. So we're going to look at it and see if we did a good job acting or whether or not it needs some replacement scenes or even just some pickup scenes to finish it off. We're even trying to find the script. I don't have a digital copy, but I might have one in my storage unit. That seems to be my excuse. I might have one in my storage unit. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I might have one there. I bought the new selfie stick. This is on a stable tripod now. The wind won't knock it over. I mean, a big enough wind could, but the normal wind that I would be talking in won't knock this over. It's very stable. And it's not that heavy, which is good. And it's got a top part that I can put a light on. Well, it came with, and I've got a number of lights that will fit it. It's a standard camera connection. I've got a ring light that will circle the whole thing. Let me see, where's my camera at? It's a ring that goes around the whole camera. Now, the ring light covers me, but they don't think that the camera's offset. The camera's at this end over here. So that's why when I'm looking at the center of the camera, it looks like I'm looking to the right. But the lens is right there. I'm looking directly at you now, and you can see that. But here I'm looking at my face, which is in the center of the display. They should have some way to adapt that and fix that, but in any case. These are the things we have to keep in mind when we're doing things. I'm just doing a general conversation right now. We know things are getting worse. And we know the rapture's soon. We don't have to even discuss that or debate that. There are people that still think there's a post-trib rapture, and they are so brainwashed. I can't carry on a minute conversation with them without them getting angry. When you get angry in a discussion, you're having to defend a position that's weak. People who are confident in their position don't get angry. They don't have to. They know they're right. I know I'm right. We're either pre-trib or pre-wrath, and I'm putting all my money on pre-trib. I'm not even putting a fraction on pre-wrath, but I will accept it because I know we're not going to go into the wrath. We're not subject to the wrath. This is a Bible quote. We're not subject to wrath. And the second half of the tribulation is the only part that's called tribulation. It's called the Great Tribulation, and it has the wrath of God in it. And we're not going to go into that. Now, when we switch from the church age to the 70th week, we're going from Gentile to Jew. The rapture's for the Gentiles. Matthew talks about it. In Matthew 24, Jesus talks about it. We're getting it right from the horse's mouth. He's telling us what's coming. He's telling us some of the signs that are coming. We go through the seals with Jesus. And the seals encompass the whole 70th week as one complete vision. And the trumpets do the same thing. It overlaps. They don't perfectly line up. It doesn't go seal, trumpet, seal, trumpet. I mean, the trumpets are later on after the seals get started. And then we have the wrath come in the second half. That's the bowl judgments. Revelation is not linear. It's prophetic. And prophetic stuff doesn't follow the standard Greek linear format. But I started reading a commentary on my last video. I didn't pre-read it. I liked the first verse or so, the first sentence. I just started reading, and pretty soon I'm going, no. This isn't right. You guys have got it wrong. I just stopped reading. I got to proofread these things. I've done a pretty good job before of reading some of the commentaries, and I like what they've written. But all these guys get Revelation wrong. It's simple when God explains it, but God has to explain it. If you interpret it on your own, then you and Satan are in the same ballpark. He can't figure it out either, because he doesn't have the Spirit inside of him teaching him how to understand it, which we have as Christians. And that goes for the whole Bible. And we do need to read the whole Bible, and I've been a little bit neglect on that. I come in and I pull verses out, but I don't do a full study. I'm trying to decide if I want to do that. We were in our church Bible study last weekend. We were in Numbers. And I'd forgotten some of the stories in there because I haven't taught it in a long time, and I haven't taken it in a long time. But it's good to remember because God hasn't changed. So if it was written hundreds of years before Christ was here, don't throw it out. Don't say, well, that's the old covenant anyway. We don't have to read it. There is not one covenant that is not still in effect. Every covenant of God is still in effect. He doesn't do away with them. He may supersede it. He may have a covenant in the beginning, and then he creates a second covenant, which covers the first covenant and some changes going forward. Jesus has the final covenant at the Last Supper, and his takes care of all the previous ones and goes forward. That's how God's covenants work. He doesn't change his mind. He doesn't reverse his mind. He doesn't throw something out that he hadn't set in stone, basically. A covenant is set in stone. It's a legal binding document. It's like a marriage certificate. It's supposed to be honored forever. unlike humans, God doesn't get to a point where he's tired with somebody. Got flies around me. Get out of here. Like we can get tired with people, which is wrong. If we're having difficulties, we need to work them out. But unfortunately, it takes two people, and both parties have to be working together. Otherwise, you are unequally yoked, and we're warned against that. All right. How are we doing on time? Okay, well, this is only the first video I've done. Sometimes if I piece them together, I got to remember how long I talked before. I'm still going to try to keep them at about 30 minutes. Once I start splitting the videos on YouTube, now this one's going to go on both, but the videos on YouTube may be 15 to 20 minutes. So I don't have to waste a lot of time talking on things that I know I'm going to talk about in the second part of the video. We'll cover all the basics here on YouTube very cleanly, very simply. I'm hoping my last two videos don't have any problems, because I did talk about some questionable things that if they just key off the words, they could kick my video out. If they actually listen, I'm not saying anything that should offend them. But you never know. And if they use an AI bot to go through this stuff, it may come to a wrong conclusion, because it has to learn. And somebody will have to tell it you came to a wrong conclusion. But we're dealing with religious channels here. All the stats, all my YouTube stats are down. I won't say they're half of what they used to be, but they're close. YouTube is doing everything they can to keep people from watching this channel. So I need your help. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And this goes for Rumble too. This channel will go down eventually. So you've got to have a connection on Rumble. If it does go down for any period of time, go over to Rumble. I'll keep posting there, because they're not filtering. If everybody on YouTube figures out just exactly what's going on, they would lose half their clientele overnight. They're playing a very tricky game, trying to keep people from figuring out what they're doing by not telling us how some things are calculated. I've been fortunate that I have not had a video blocked or canceled. I had one video come up with a copyright issue on a song that said it was public domain. And I got to go by what it says. If I grab it off a public domain site and it says it's public domain, I have to trust that. But as soon as it got posted, somebody claimed it and claimed all the monetary rights to that channel. You shouldn't be able to do that. People should have to defend their right to do that. I'm guilty until proven innocent. They're innocent until proven guilty. It should be the other way around. If somebody claims right to a video, they should have the proof. Claims right because of a song, copyright. That's one way they can take stuff down, is people can come in that don't like it and say, well, this is copyrightable. He said the word "the," and I've copyrighted that. Well, we know they haven't. But if they're not going to be checked, they can basically take every video down that they don't like. This evil world, there's no using common sense to try to figure it out. It is pure evil. You can't figure it out. Only Satan understands it. God understands it and doesn't deal with it because it's evil. So we're having to work with what we got. We need to make sure that we're safe. Don't physically challenge any of the problems that you're going to run into in this world. Defend yourself, yes, But don't go getting road rage, if you will, for somebody who says something on your page. Try to talk. If they won't listen, send them on their way. We're told to do that even visiting door to door. Take the gospel to somebody. If they don't want to hear about it, wipe the dust from your feet as you walk away and don't look back. If God wants them, they're going to have somebody else come. But they're not ready yet. They won't be ready until the world is collapsing around them. If they're in the book of life, they have a chance. But if they're not, they're here for Satan to mislead and take down the wrong path. The road to heaven is narrow, and few will find it. Remember that. You can't save everybody. It would be nice if we could. God doesn't want anybody to perish. He said so. But he does one thing that is surprising from God. It shouldn't be, but it is. He gives us the free will to choose another path than to go with him. Nobody should do that, but they do. And you can't drag them along. If God's given them free will, you can't force your will on them either. If I find somebody who doesn't want to listen, I just tell them, encourage them, remember this conversation. I'm planting a seed. Remember the conversation we had. There will come a time when it will come back to your memory and you say, well, maybe he was right. Things are really bad. I don't know if it's just the beach cities because there's so much sand. If you go down there now, you'll find all these people with their head in the sand. It seems the beach communities are the ones that are California, lots of beaches. We don't have much sand here in Georgia. There's a little bit of a beach, but not much. From Savannah down to Florida. And most of it's swamp and areas that you really can't get to the beach on. And I'd love to camp along there, but the campsites are almost always full. I can book a year in advance, but I never know that far. I can't work on a calendar like that. Nose is running again. I've taken some Sudafed. And I've had a nap because I've taken some Sudafed. I know there's the day kind, but it doesn't work as well. And when you're heavily in the midst of it, you take the strongest. It's just a cold. It'll be gone in a couple of days. I won't even remember having it unless I look at my old videos and see me using a Kleenex. Okay. This is just a fun Riverside Chat. I tried to do it on one of my last videos, and they were doing too much work with the tractor down here trying to clear the boat ramp. The river's still up. It's up probably, well, a couple of feet anyway. It was 3 feet up. It's down a foot now, and it's muddy. I saw some fishermen come back, and I didn't see any fish. The fish don't bite when it's muddy. They can't see. You stick your head down in that mud, that water, see how far you can see. If your lunch were to go floating by, you wouldn't even know it. The fish are the same way. All right. When my son gets here, I may let him get a fishing license. I'm still staying gray, so I can't get one. Besides, I don't know that I'd want to eat these fish. They're downstream from Atlanta. And just sitting here, I've already counted like 20 pieces of trash floating down. And that's just on the surface. What kind of chemicals are in this? We have the sewage plant in Atlanta that leaks all the time. Their fines are cheaper than what it would cost to repair the place. So they just keep paying their fines every year. 2 or 3 fines and it's still cheaper. Yeah, I guess over 10 years, if they were to spend all that millions of dollars, they'd eliminate the fines, but it would take 10 years to recoup it. Politicians don't look that far ahead. They look to the next election. That's as far as a politician looks. All right. I look forward to being able to do my quick short videos here and then to really cut loose. I can't talk about our commander-in-chief the way I'd like to. It's not his fault. He's got dementia. He's senile. You can almost see the strings. I start calling him Geppetto. No, but that's his creator, wasn't it? Okay, I guess we have to call him Pinocchio. All right. Don't be surprised anything comes out of there. I am surprised, though, that they are actually returning fire from our bases in Syria. That could escalate. And it might get us involved in an Iranian war. If Israel's getting ready to attack, and it's Israel's proxies that are attacking us, they're going to draw us right into it. And with us and Israel going against Iran, they don't have a chance. Keep praying for everybody, including the Middle East. We'll get out of here, but at the last minute. Till we meet in the clouds. God bless.